Okay, so today I have a Kaioken themed moveset. Feel free to leave your moveset suggestions in the comments and I will feature them in future videos. Okay, so this is a very gimmicky moveset. Let's just take a look at what I decided to use for this moveset. So firstly, the transformation, of course, it's going to be Kaioken. Now, I don't believe I used Kaioken times 20 in this video because it's only good in very specific situations. For example, if you have enough ki to use it and if you have a full stamina bar but your opponent has just enough health so that Kaioken times 1 or times 3 wouldn't finish them off. Or if the timer is very low and you somehow manage to break your opponent's guard, and again you have enough stamina and ki to use Kaioken times 20, then to use a very powerful ultimate attack to do enough damage to finish them off before the timer runs out. Pretty much every other transformation in the game that's available to you is better than Kaioken. The only positive thing I can say about it is that to use just a normal Kaioken, not times 3 or times 20, it just takes 1 bar of ki to use, so I guess that's a positive, but I mean, it's not really that hard to gain ki in your normal state. For Saiyans, Super Saiyan is just infinitely more useful than Kaioken, and for every other race, Potential Unleashed is just more useful and more stable and more reliable than Kaioken will ever be. So moving on to my evasive, I decided to use Instant Rise. I'm very surprised that they didn't add a Kaioken evasive like just dashing away, like what Goku did to escape being hit by Great Ape Vegeta. So because of that, I decided to use Instant Rise because it's kind of like Kaioken because you instantly rise up and, you know, I just think it works. For my ultimates, I have the 2 variations of the Kaioken Kamehameha because they're the only Kaioken ultimate attacks in the game, so I don't really have a choice here. The times 4 version is one of the best attacks in the game if you can hit with it, but when you do use it, you really do need to make sure that it kills your opponent, because if not, you're really going to be in trouble, especially if you boost it up. Now, for the Kaioken times 20 Kamehameha, I think this is the first time I've used it, so I don't really have that much to say on it, but I did find it very hard to connect with it. It just felt like it wasn't hitting properly when I would use it, and it should have very clearly hit the opponent, but oh well, let's move on. Supers, I've got Kaioken Kamehameha and the Kaioken Assault. Kaioken Kamehameha is just a generic energy wave, it's run of the mill, it just looks prettier. Kaioken Assault is very useless in my opinion. You can only do good damage with it if you use 6 bars of ki, which will pretty much drain your ki bar. And considering I need Rise to Action for this moveset, it's not really the best move to use. In my opinion, the damage versus how much ki it uses just isn't worth it. Like I just said, I have Rise to Action. The idea behind this moveset is to just use damaging super attacks when I know they can definitely hit and do some pretty significant damage. So with that being said, I should in theory have a pretty full ki bar most of the time, so I should be able to use Rise to Action to reduce my ki and transfer it into stamina so I can make my Kaioken transformation last longer. And finally, the ace in the hole of this moveset, Super God Shock Flash. I wanted a counter super attack because I'm definitely going to have to do a stamina reset at some point, either intentionally or unintentionally if I'm not paying attention to my stamina and my Kaioken prematurely runs out. So really, the point of using the 1-inch punch is to use it as a sort of trick, so if I have my stamina broken and my opponent rushes into me, I can then use it and hopefully they won't be expecting it, so then I'll do a bit of damage and I'll have a few more seconds to recover my stamina. You can use any of the other counter attacks here, such as Pressure Sign or Burst Rush. I personally decided to use the Super God Shock Flash counter just because it's one of my favourite attacks, and well, I might as well really. As you can see here, this is my build. I'm only showing this because it's something that gets asked a lot. Just keep in mind this is what I use to complete the story mode and to do quests, and you won't actually see these stats applied because I fight with limitations on. So going into the first fight, I picked the pod landing map and the guy picks hit, which I thought was very fitting. You can see right there he vanished, but I predicted it, and I think there's some sort of lag there because hit was punching in front but it still hit me, so whatever. He punches me back, I dash back in, he vanishes, I did actually counter it, but there's still that bug where your character turns around on their own, which is super frustrating. I hit him back, then I use Kaioken times 3. I have full stamina here, and I have a decent idea on his vanishing patterns, but there he gets me in a combo, and I decided not to vanish out of it because it's only going to be a few hits long, and it wouldn't do that much damage. He goes for the time skip there, but I sidestepped, then blocked it, and this is exactly what I mean. I went for the Kaioken times 20 Kamehameha there. Like, it should have connected, but for some reason it didn't. So I wasted a lot of ki there, but then I quickly break his stamina with a stamina break. Then I just unleash a basic melee combo on him. Then I hit him down and use rise to action because my stamina is pretty low. He steps back up to me, and I think I panic vanished there, but in a second he tries to spam Phantom Fist. And I just love now that even if you're unsuccessful using it, it still uses 1 bar of ki. And as you just saw, I perfectly predicted 3 of his vanishes, and for some reason I went for the Super God Shock Flash, but it doesn't even connect. Like, I think that was a misclick, but it doesn't really matter. Let's move on. Now here I'm in a tricky situation because I need to use rise to action to recover quite a bit of stamina. Thankfully he sends me back, then just stands there so I can get off another rise to action. I went from the Kaioken assault there to try and surprise him, but again it doesn't even connect. It's I'm really in trouble now because my Kaioken has just ran out. But thankfully, he just stands there again so I can get a bit of distance just by moving. Then I get a throw off, and at this point I know I'm going to have enough time to recover my stamina. Again, for some reason, I don't know why, I went for another Kaioken assault there. Completely doesn't even hit Kappa. But now because there's only less than a minute left and we both have low health, I decided to drop the gimmick and actually try and fight him properly, so I win. He went for another time skip there, but I vanished just before he did it. Then I gave him in a combo, I hit him down, then finish him off with Kaioken times 4. Now, just wait to see what happens next. He rage quits. He rage quit in a player match. I mean, who does that? Oh, that was a great first fight, so let's move on to the next fight. I picked the same map, and this guy picked Final Form Cooler, and again, I just thought that was very fitting. So as I dash up to him, I hit him a few times, gave him a small combo. He vanishes, I predict it, then he predicts I'm going to back hit him, so he backsteps, so I'm thinking, okay, this is going to be a good fight. After the clash, I dash away, then dash up to him, then hit him away, then use Kaioken times 3. If I had Super Saiyan equipped, this would be not a fast fight, but it'll be much easier because Super Saiyan 3 has huge basic attack damage, and I wouldn't have to worry about my stamina constantly draining. So here he goes for the Death Beam, but I'm already dashing, so I'm going to be safe from it. He vanishes after I hit him, then we go into another clash. Now try and trick him by dashing and trying to, you know, like make it look like I'm not going to attack him. And then we go into another clash. My stamina is getting quite low now, so I need to hit him away to create some distance to be able to use rise to action. I get one off successfully. He catches me here and gets me in a combo, but I don't want to vanish because I really need to keep an eye on my stamina. Here he goes for the Death Chaser, I think that attack is, I'm not sure. I completely failed with the Super God Shock Flash here. My plan was to use it to create some more distance, and I should have been able to use 2 rise to actions in the time it would have taken him to recover. He goes for another Death Chaser, but I completely avoid it. At this point of the fight, I'm really regretting using my Kaioken moveset. Well, just look at the difference in our health. Like, I'm in trouble here and I need to really, you know, get with it. He vanishes here when I dash up to him for some reason. Then I get a nice perfect block off. Then I counter when he vanishes, and he went for the burst dash there. Look, I think that may have been a misclick because there just would have been no point using it when we're pretty much face to face. He's got me pretty much trapped in a damning combo here, so I can't really vanish out of it. Well, I do vanish there, and I really shouldn't have because now my stamina has been broken. And at this point I was thinking he's going to really, like, he's going to beat me here, but you just saw he went for the Death Chaser, which he really shouldn't have. Like, it just looked like he was going to be flashy. Then he goes for the Full Power Energy Blast ultimate attack. I break his guard, then I actually get him in the Kaioken times 20 Kamehameha ultimate attack. And you have to admit, from the moment my stamina was broken, That was a very cool sequence there. So before his stamina recharges, I'm just trying to get as much damage off as possible. If you watch carefully, in a moment he'll try and go for the Death Chaser, but I shoot a Ki Blast which cancels his Death Chaser. But here he vanishes, then Sidestep vanishes and hits me once, and it only takes one hit at this point given how low my health is to beat me. That was a very close fight. I enjoyed it a lot. GG to that guy. We did actually have 2 more fights after that, so I'll let these play out in a moment. I just want to talk about how you can use this moveset the most effectively. So I'd say do not use Kaioken times 20. The stamina drain is just too much to be able to continuously rely on rise to action. I'd recommend just using the normal Kaioken and not Kaioken times 3. Because again, the stamina drain on even Kaioken times 3 at points can be really damning. Because if you're fighting someone who knows to watch out for rise to action, if you use rise to action, you're going to be left completely open to any sort of an attack. Kaioken Assault and Kaioken times 20 Kamehameha are completely pointless in my opinion. I don't think they do that much damage compared to how much ki is needed to successfully pull off the full attack. But Kaioken Assault could be useful in a situation where you are very low on stamina and your opponent's stamina has just been broken and you have full ki, so that way you may be able to connect with it and really do some damage that way. But again, that to me, that's something that's very situational, and I wouldn't really recommend you relying on that as a viable technique in a fight, especially against someone who knows how to fight. Super God Shock Flash can be good as a counter when you need to regenerate your broken stamina bar, but that's something that I think really can only work once against an opponent, because if they know that you're going to use that attack just when you have a broken stamina bar, then of course they're going to watch out for that. And finally, Kaioken Kamehameha, the super version, it's just a generic energy blast. It's very run of the mill, like I've already said. You know, it's okay, I guess. Nothing really to complain about. And that's going to do it for this video. I'll let this fight play out on its own because I just thought it was a really good fight. If you have any moveset themes, feel free to leave a comment with it, and the best ones will be featured in future videos. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the video, and I'll see you next time.